Hello, good morning. It's almost 7 GMT. Welcome in our live trading room. It's the 10th of April 2014, Thursday. So let's start. Let's start with risk warning. Please bear in mind that our live trading room has educational purpose only. Trading FX on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all or even more than your initial investment. Please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Good morning one more time. Strong sell-off yesterday on US dollar. Right after last meeting minutes. Market took it as a very dovish. And we saw strong sell-off of US dollar, right? Now, before the minutes, I send out short report in regards to my expectations. And let's take a look on euro dollar, what happened yesterday. Okay. I wrote that 38 is going to be important. And here, sorry. And here we have the whole setup. So it was possible to do that yesterday one more time. So it's all about the whole setup before the minutes. $38.20, it was last week high. Okay. And we took out that high very nicely. What do I mean by that? We took out intraday resistance. We took out last week high with a quite strong move. Then very slowly, euro made a pullback. And we start the whole move from this area, right? From here. And as I mentioned in my comment, that 138 is going to be important. So if you had a chance, there was two possibilities to go long euro yesterday. I took the conservative one, and to be honest with you, it was not so good. But first, there was a rally, some kind of the base, and drop towards demand zone, right? So there was a one, two, at least three possibilities to go long with tight stop below on euro dollar with aggressive approach. Okay. Me personally, I was slightly afraid, so I placed stop buy order about that level, about 30, above 38.10, and I was filled with some slippage, so there was not huge deal for me. And I cut it the position here, so instead of buying around 38.12, 38.15, I've been filled around 38.30. So not great deal for me. But anyway, aggressive traders had a great chance based on this structure here. There was a rally, base, drop to the previous demand zone, and it was valid because we took out the intraday resistance here. We took out last week high, right? So there was a sign that it's a huge appetite for move higher. Now, it happened yesterday. We are today. There is some profit taking going on during the Tokyo session. Finally, before Europe Open, we found the support at 20 moving average on hourly. And most probably we are going higher from here, but I will get back to euro dollar on hourly within 1 second. Let me start with weekly. Let me start with weekly. But as I mentioned in my comment yesterday, as I mentioned in my comment yesterday, it looks like it's a good buy for US dollar. Okay. But there is one important thing in this picture. We have strong appetite for 140 and slightly above. Do you remember, based on the daily chart and based on this pattern, we took short few weeks ago, right? Now what I do expect we are going again to test this line. So it's going to be like 140, 140, 40. But there is one important thing I would like to point out. This resistance zone here, 38.77, Tokyo high was around 38.67 or so. So for sure some shorts were open there. So definitely the zone here between 38.65.70 to 39.10, it has to be watched carefully by bulls. So definitely there is it's not a place right now to buy euro dollar, okay? I'm going to show you within a second what we can do, how we can join, and what we can expect. But bear in mind, please remember about this selling zone here, okay? On a weekly chart, Now let's get back to daily, and please watch carefully, okay? 1, 2, 3. This low confirmed this high, okay? Then, bam, another low. This low here confirm this high. So it's another important thing saying that 38.70 could be tough. And that's one of the reasons we start the pullback during the Tokyo session. Okay? Now, let's try to get back to hourly. Now, this is the Tokyo session here. That's the Tokyo session high here. Okay? And I'm not going to be surprised to see some stop hunting above that high. And I'm going to watch 38.75 for possible intraday selling opportunity eventually. Okay? So I would like to see around 38.70, 75. If there is, of course, not straight move to the upside, right, like this. Then I will try to make some small selling. Now, where I would like to buy euro dollar. If this one is area of the profit taking, I would say that we can easily go down by 50 pips around. So look, 38.70, if it's going to be the resistance, and we are going sell short small amount of euro dollar with tight stop above 77, like let's see what's going to happen if any stop hunting, whatever is going to happen. But as I mentioned, I do expect at least 50 points pullback. So 50 points, 50 pips pullback from 38.70, it's giving us exactly the breakout point, yesterday breakout point, right? 38.20. And I can see quite good demand zone on hourly, slightly below 38.20. Okay? Do you remember a few minutes ago I showed you 5-minute chart? With the same setup, but it was 5-minute chart. bam, from the demand zone to the left side. Now looks like we can have the same setup on hourly chart. Okay, looks like it's quite strong demand zone towards 38. Here is going to be visible support. Some stops based on the breakout are already below 38.20. So what I do expect is to stop hunting, pushing prices lower toward our demand zone. Okay? And I do expect similar situation we had yesterday. We had breakout based pullback, and now we have on hourly. This is a 5 minutes, right? I show you at the beginning. Now we have similar story, similar situation now. Breakout, basing, and I would like to see pullback towards demand zone, and most probably if 38 holds, bump to the upside towards 138.75, taking the stops and going higher. So euro dollar, my plan is look for stop hunting around 38.70, some price action saying that we should go short, then short with tight stop towards 38.20, and I'm going to take the profit at this visible support. Then I will wait for stop hunting, pushing prices lower toward the demand zone, and if 38 holds, I'm going to be the buyer here. Okay? Great. Nice sell signal, intraday sell signal on DAX. If anyone wants to take it. Yesterday, I mentioned about the possibility of higher prices, and we went higher. And today we have third approach, and look, rejection, visible resistance. So I would say at least 30 points possible move down toward the visible support, or even slightly lower, right? I'm not taking this one. I'm waiting for a longer setup. Again, I would like to see something around 9,600 plus to take the short opportunity. Eventually, this I'm going to skip this intraday, but if anyone wants to take it with tight stop, it could make sense. I would say trying to sell around 75 with 10-12 points stop, targeting 30-35 pips. Okay, intraday setup. I'm not taking DAX today. I'm going to focus on currencies today, so I'm expecting some nice moves, so I would like to focus on currencies today. Now, dollar Swiss franc. That's the weekly chart. Third attempt, we were buying some time ago. Now, we went higher. We took out the visible resistance. As I mentioned last week, that there is a 20 weekly moving average. As we can see, it works. But now, we are approaching some demand zone on dollar Swiss franc. Weekly chart, okay? We are right at demand zone. Of course, it's based on a weekly chart, so the stop is going to be wide. Okay. So buying around this area, it's around 90 pips stop, quite wide. But let's see if we can join on a smaller time frame. Okay. We had this resistance, we had the breakout. There was some pullback higher, and we testing previous resistance, now support. So based on daily chart, let me show you the combination. Based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this high confirmed this low. I would say that we are in good demand zone on daily as well, and in that case I would like to put my stop based on daily around 87.25, so it's like 50 pips, right? Now let's take a look hourly, if we can take something based on hourly. Not necessarily. There was some move, but we missed the support yet. So I would like to see move from here lower towards 87.80, so 10-15 pips lower, maybe to hit the stops here, and then eventually join the party. So if you would like to take intraday trade on dollar Swiss, I would wait. I would wait 1 moment. Okay. Okay. Before this move to the upside here, right? Before this swing here, my last 2 swings were here, so that's my line. We were trying to take out the line, failed, and going towards support. I would like to look for some buying pattern around 87.80, okay? And it should correspond with euro dollar around 38.70, right? Just to take some stops from the extremes based on the Tokyo session. Dollar yen on hourly. I wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce. We had the bounce during Tokyo again. Before end of the Tokyo we tested again. I wouldn't be surprised to see some bounce toward the 20 on hourly, 20 moving average on hourly chart. Then 102.15, 102.25 as resistance, but still stronger, as I mentioned yesterday, 102.50, 55, somewhere here. So bounce here cannot be ruled out, okay? On dollar yen. Is it good level to buy? We are right at visible or around visible support. Maybe something like 101.65 or slightly below Tokyo low, maybe with tight stop. This was a strong selling pressure here. Can we call it the range? If we can call it the range, then buy low, sell high, right? So we are close to the low of the range, but maybe some stops hunting. I would wait a while before buying. Dollar yen. But on 30 minutes chart there is some demand, visible demand. But we are close to 101.80, first resistance. 101.90, another one. So I would wait for lower prices and see if it's a range, if it holds. So 101.50 on the downside is this type of the low I would like to look for. Okay, so let's watch some crosses now here. Yes, as I mentioned, that's the 5-minute chart, and we have quite nice zone around 87.83, 87.80. So let's see what's going to happen there. Okay, DAX move higher, cleaning the stops. Looks not good that I didn't take it. But as I mentioned, I'm not going to trade indices now. I'm looking for some trades on the currency market. Okay, so watching dollar Swiss franc. Watching euro dollar. And look, we have similar pattern on euro dollar, the same like on dollar Swiss, we have similar on euro dollar on 5-minute charts. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, next one, British pound. So I'm going to leave both 5-minute charts, dollar Swiss franc, euro dollar. Let's see what's going to happen here. I'm not a buyer of euro dollar here simply because we are very close to resistance level. Pound is weakening. We have Bank of England interest rate decision later today. Weekly, right at the resistance, right? Of course, it's going to be important where we are going to close tomorrow evening. But looks like we want to go higher toward 170, toward the psychological level. But on weekly we are right at resistance. Of course, it's the beginning of the day, but as I mentioned, some profit taking, it could be because of the Bank of England. Market is not sure what we can expect. So simply profit taking going on. I would be very careful selling right now. Okay. As I showed you yesterday, there was a breakout, there was a pullback, the line holds, we went higher. Now if you were long and you are still long, most probably it's good time to join profit takers to take some profits and wait for Bank of England. On hourly we have some demand zone below 67.50. We start profit taking from around 68.20 and it's going to give us around 80-90 pips to this zone, so it's quite nice pullback. Then if there is no shock from Bank of England, then we can think about buying. What we can see There is a possibility of some stops hunting, as we have quite nice demand slightly lower again. Around 67.10. But as of now, that's the profit taking, nothing else on the British pound. Let's see where we are. Look guys, so I'm buying dollar Swiss with tight stop. So that's intraday trade. My stop is 74 offer. So if 75 at offer side is going to be hit, the order is going to be activated, executed at bid price. Looks like Swiss franc is stronger right now because easily hit the demand zone here. Euro is in the middle of the road. Let me put my stops, okay guys? Okay. Let me put my stops. And the last one. And let's see what's going to happen here. Most probably my first target, of course, it's going to be the today's high around 88. So I'm risking, like, buying here would be a risk of 10 pips, right? I'm risking like 14 right now. So it's the first target is like 1-to-1. Let's see what's going to happen here. Strong supply on British pound. Okay, one more cross, dollar Canadian. As I mentioned yesterday that we are, in my opinion, we are going towards 107.40. Oops, sorry. That's the weekly dollar Canadian. And that's the level I was thinking about. We are trying to break 20 weekly moving average. So we were long, we've been stopped out. Now I'm waiting for this previous consolidation. After the breakout, we had the consolidation. So Riley, base, Riley. So this base is going to be my eventually first buying point in the midterm, right? Completely different to the day trading, but it's what I'm looking at. It's my eventual buying zone somewhere here. Now it's slightly different on daily. I mean the main zone is still within the same place here, right? It's still here. But on daily, we are right now around support. So again, some profit taking is possible. Look, that was the breakout. So in that case, I do expect low of this day as a good, and here is exactly low, yeah. And we hit that level yesterday after the Fed minutes, right? Some profit taking here on Canadian is visible as well. But based on current dollar negative sentiment, I wouldn't take that long position because it's on daily chart, so based in a longer time frame for a long period of time, and I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with dollar. As I mentioned yesterday, it's quite possible to say bye-bye. Completely different story to intraday trading, right? That's why I took, for example, long here based on this demand zone here, right? It's completely different. But there is a chance, as I mentioned, for some more losses for US dollar. So that's why I'm thinking about buying euro dollar, for example, around 38, or buying pound slightly lower. Of course, if I'm going to have confirmation. Now, still Canadian, but let's check intraday. So that was the last move. We took out the resistance here. So that could be the breakout trade, and we've got the chance to rise towards 109.25. We are right now at 108.91, so still like something around 30 pips. We have 1, 2, 3. So this high intraday confirmed this low, and as long as, so looks like there was a good chance to buy here, right, with tight stop towards 102.90, 109.20, sorry, 109.20. So that's the potential target for this trade. I'm sitting long here, enough for me. Don't want to have too big exposure. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen. That could make sense here. Okay, but still below 20 moving average on hourly chart. And I'm waiting for euro dollar, so I'm going to skip dollar CAD. What you can do, guys, it's like to take like 0.2 here, maybe 0.2 here, 0.2 here, right? Not to have huge exposure in one cross. That could work as well. Let's see what's going to happen. What else? There is a or on it's on the way, could be some setup on Kiwi dollar. That's the resistance. And most probably we are going towards that resistance. It's still like 1% higher. So there was some hesitations around this level here, right? We had some supply here. As I mentioned yesterday, that both Kiwi and Aussie could weaken soon, but looks like the very strong job number from Australia will delay the weakening. But we can say that the Chinese number was weak, right? So it's both ways, but domestic Australian job market is strong, so Australian dollar is stronger. So in that case, most probably, and as I mentioned, that I'm going to wait for confirmation before we do anything. And looks like we didn't get the confirmation yet. And most probably the weekend is going to be delayed, right? But interesting where we are going to close tomorrow. Daily looks strong. And on hourly, we are testing Tokyo high right now. Dollar yen, as I mentioned, the bounce possible. We are trying to go higher. And intraday, we are going to lose some momentum below 87. Okay. So Bank of England today. Then of course jobless claims from US. We have G20, G7 meetings start today. And we have, before the US close, we have federal budget balance. Now, I would be very careful before the US jobless claims, because weaker number, weaker than the market is expecting, could be very good excuse to push dollar lower again. So dollar is going to be very sensitive, data sensitive. Okay, we are watching the crosses here. Let me take a look on my other monitors if there is something else going on. If we are talking about the commodity currencies, then definitely Aussie Kiwi is worth to look at. That's the weekly. And third attempt below 20 weekly. So very important point right now. Very important point right now, and is on my radar to watch tomorrow, where we are going to close on weekly. We are trying to sell, as you remember. I'm going to watch Aussie Kiwi. Pound Aussie. We took out the support, so most probably that's the next target, around 175, 270 pips, right? But that's the weekly. On daily, on hourly, there was a nice setup, but nice setup during Tokyo session. So I was in a bet at the time. Okay, what I'm talking about is strong sell-off after the data, below the support. Now, pullback, supply came in below 20, so 78.40 was the setup. But I didn't take it, of course, just showing you. Next time, if you are going to see similar setup during European or US session, you can use it, right? Different story if because we took out the support and we quickly reversed, right? But different story would be the second candle full one, the third candle full one. That would be different story. But the second we saw supply, third we saw supply. So that was quite good setup with very tight stop, right? But one more time, I didn't take it, I was in a bet, so. Again, I would be very careful today, closer to jobless claims number. Dollar could be very, very sensitive. Okay, so I'm expecting some profit taking from the short dollar. We took long, I took long, of course, slightly higher. So we hit the demand zone when we were checking DAX most probably. Anyway, I'm long with tight stop, 74 offer. It could be even higher, like 78 offer. So then the risk reward is bigger, but the demand zone is very tight. So I have like another 7 pips below the low. Anyway, my first target is going to be 88.04. Slightly above 1-to-1. Then I'm watching euro dollar, and again I'm expecting some pullback maybe different way. Maybe different way. Why I'm not a buyer here? Because as I show you on a weekly, we are very close to the resistance zone, to the selling zone, to the supply zone. And in that case, I would like to make small counter trend trade because I do expect some profit takers around current level. Okay. And I do expect around 50 pips from the around Tokyo high. So it's giving us 37.20, which is exactly yesterday breakout point. I know, and if I'm going to be short, and if I'm lucky enough, I'm going to take my profit at this breakout point, but I do expect more. I do expect some stop hunting below 38.20, pushing prices lower towards 38.10, toward the good demand zone. Okay. So simply I'm not buying here because of the resistance. I don't know, maybe we will push higher from here, okay, but I'm not a buyer here. I was long yesterday before Fed minutes, as I mentioned, but I was filled with the slippage, so that was not a great deal. There was a great deal for aggressive traders to buy into demand zone at 5-minute chart, as I showed you before. British pound, I'm waiting for Bank of England, and there are two demand zones. So I wouldn't be surprised to see stop hunting below 67.50, to see the prices lower towards 67.10. Okay. Of course, bulls could be in a trouble below the low of this big candle. But still we have some demand zone here. Tricky zone below, tricky zone between 35 and 15. So like 20 pips of no man's land. I mean 67.35, 67.15, below this huge candle here, and still above this demand zone. Could be tricky. And looks like our Swiss franc is not doing so well, so good. Euro is approaching the resistance as well. But still looks like it's some demand here, or profit takers. On euro dollar we have to push still like 10 pips higher, so it could be that we are going to be stop out on our Swiss franc. But then if I have the confirmation on euro dollar, I'm going to join the euro dollar as well. That's going to be with tight stop again. So if I'm right, then I can easily recover the losses from the Swiss franc on euro dollar. If I'm wrong, then I'm going to be wrong twice, with tight stop on dollar Swiss and tight stop on euro dollar, trading both 0.25, so that's still okay. And overall, yes, I do expect the higher prices on euro dollar in the midterm, like 140.40. That's the again resistance based on this rising line on the weekly I've shown you before. Okay. The perfect scenario would be to see euro dollar testing 38 later today, but finishing around 38.40, and the final push up higher tomorrow during the day, so to do the job before the weekend. That would be great. That would be great. So before we finish, let me show you. I show you the Kiwi. So let's take a look on Aussie. Looks like we took out the resistance here, but we are still within some visible resistance. Oops, let me do this different way. But there's no doubt Aussie is strong right now. Okay. We have one more here based on this low and this high. So 94.80. So means that Aussie Kiwi is going higher right now. But I'm watching based on the weekly chart, so for me it's going to be important tomorrow close, right? What's going to happen with that range, and what's going to happen as we have this line and we are trying to make a breakout, but it's a third attempt. Okay. So guys, be very careful today. Dollar could be very sensitive around the jobless claims. We could see some bigger profit taking if it's above the expectation, and if it's below the expectation, we can see another sell-off. So be extremely careful, use stops. Please have a stop in place. We are long here, waiting for some short setup here in an intraday, on an intraday base, looking to buy euro dollar closer to 38, looking to buy pound. So let's see what's going to happen, guys. That's it from me today. I would like to say thank you very much for your time, and see you again tomorrow, right? So we will have a chance to see what's going on the market before the weekend. So we'll have a chance to make some trades tomorrow again. That's it from me today. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Be careful. Happy trading. See you tomorrow again. Thank you. Bye-bye.